I've finally tidied this place up. Nice. Hello everyone, my name is Endeavour and welcome back to another episode from the RambleCraft server. And we are starting things off today in the bulk storage area of the mega base, and we have our little manual storage area at the end here, and it was looking a complete mess. I just had to take a little bit of time to get this done. So I have this wall of chests here. This is just for me to bring everything down for my starter house and just having a way of sorting the manual items just to keep everything to hand, because I have been spending a lot of time down here. I love this storage area, all the automatic sorting in there. I've got all my shulker boxes that are usually in my ender chest. I've just been putting them up here so I can go through them all. I've got this area down here, which I did have a water drop from the top right in the center. What I decided to do was decorate it the same as the rest of my base, but then I also added these drops at the side. So this one is a drop from the surface, and I've got a water elevator at this side that is up to the surface. And I have been using these quite a lot. It was definitely worth doing this because I do have these in the starter house as well, but these actually go all the way down without me having to press any buttons. Well, apart from this one at the top, and this one takes us all the way down. So yeah, this was definitely something I wanted to get done. And obviously these at the top, they don't look great. They don't match what we've got going on, but I don't plan to leave them like this. We're going to have some kind of building around this, but these are actually quite far apart. Even though the tunnel at the bottom isn't that wide, they go into the wall a little bit, so they are spaced out quite a bit. And I don't want to have a huge building around them, because this is going to be like a little fishing village down here. So they may have to be split into two buildings, or maybe like a tower at this end, and then have some kind of building in the middle, and then a little side building on that. We will get around to that at some point, but today, that is not what we're doing. Today, we are going to continue with this crazy thing that we built last time, the slime pit. And what I want to do today is add on the next part of this. So we have the crazy landscape here, and then down here we're going to have a more natural landscape, and we also need to somehow transition from that one into this one, which is going to be fun. And I also casually just need to build a mountain as well, right where I'm stood here, because there's one element of this that doesn't really make sense. That's apart from the giant slime mountain. And that is, if a river was flowing down this way, and we're this close to the coast, it would probably very easily find its way over this way. But I don't want it to go that way. I want it to go over here. Down this little valley here, I'm going to dig all this out, and then this is where the river is going to go into the sea. So to do that, just to add a little bit of realism, I'm going to add a mountain / hill in here that will divert the flow of the water around that way. So I think that's what I want to work on first. Mark out where this hill's going to go and do a little bit of landscaping around the edge of here. So let's get some blocks and we'll get on with it. Okay, so I've got some stone, so let's start marking this out. So what I want to do is basically do the overhead footprint of this so I can figure out where I'm actually going to be building. So we're definitely going to want a cliff on this side. So let's just start building this along. And I think we'll pretty much follow the terrain that we've got here already. But then I need to be aware of where this ends, because that point there, I'm going to have a lighthouse. So I don't want this to come too far this way. So let's just mark this out. We're going to have our fishing village in this coastal area here. So I think maybe if we go up to about here, that could be pretty good. Let's just randomly throw some blocks down. We can change this as we go once we start building it up. But let's just get a rough outline of how this is going to look. And I try not to make these more than 5 long. I think if you want to make things look fairly natural, if you do things like this, try not to have any straight lines of 5 or more. Well, five's alright, but any more than that, it just doesn't look right. So just chop and change them. And one good tip as well, if you do actually want to go in a straight line, you can go back and forth. So you can have, like I've done here actually. So it's gone from here, it's gone this way, then back out this way, and then back out this way again. So it's going pretty much in a straight line, but there's a lot of variation. And then as we take it up, we can do like different angles as we go up. So this is going to be alright, I think it's going to work, and then we will follow it up to this as well, because I think I want to leave this river in as it is. So we can work with that, definitely. Something like this. No, that's way too long, just going against the rule I've just said. So I'll just continue it around this way, leave this river a bit like that. And I think I'm actually shying away from the most important side, which is a bit over there. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do on this side of the mountain as well. I think this and this one may actually join up in some way. I don't know how yet, but we'll have a look once we get there. And then, is that going to work? No. I need to come this way a bit more, don't I? Because I need... Let's start from over here. Let's be sensible about this. Let's come around this way. Because I want this side to be a fairly steep cliff as well. So this side's probably going to be more shallow. Along the coast, a bit steeper. And then this one is probably going to be really steep. So it's going to be like the river is going to be carving away the bottom of it, so it'll probably lean over quite a bit. And then that side, not sure, probably fairly shallow again. Right, I may need to do 2 separate sections. I may need, actually, what I could do, could be a bit more interesting, if we have this steeper mountain going around this way, so it's blocking the water from going over here, but then we could have like a shallower bit down here that's like a bit of a cliff face, because this bit, this dip here is all going to like a pond, and then we're going to have the water flowing around that way, so it doesn't actually need to be as steep at this side. We're going to have something else coming up this way, but let's get this main one done first. Yeah, so this should line up pretty well. So if we just take it around like this, and then start bringing it back this way, and to join up with this one somehow. Looks alright, that's worked pretty well. So I don't think I will actually need anything at this side, but we can have some kind of crazy vegetation in between, and then like a transition between this mountain and the normal mountain. Okay, that's gone pretty well. Right, I think what I want to do next is actually get on with building this. Now I know where I'm going to have this. I can build this up later on, but what I want to do is actually dig out all of this grass. One, because I need grass. I always need loads of grass, and I never have enough. And I actually want to have this like a stone base, and then we can add in some gravel and coarse dirt, rough it up a bit, a few slabs, and then once we get the water in, we'll bone meal it for some seagrass. All just the standard terraforming stuff. Alright, so I need to dump this stone somewhere, and we'll do a little bit of digging. You just hate it when you're trying to dig a river and you find your iron farm. Well, that's what's happened to me, and I should have expected it really, because I did know this was quite high up and this land here was a little bit lower than the rest of it, but I think it's about the right height anyway. So all I'm going to do now is actually fill all this in with stone at this level, and then we'll try and figure out how this river is going to go this way. I'm probably going to dig a bit more of this back, but I think the shape pretty good so far. So we'll get all this filled in with stone, and then we'll come back and we'll start doing some detailing. Okay, so I've got a lot of work done there. Got all of this covered in stone, and I also started planning out where exactly this river's going to go. So I'm leaning more towards the idea of having this being a river rather than a pond or a lake as I thought before. But I think this could look pretty good, especially as we're redirecting it. I think it makes more sense, and it'd look a lot more dramatic if this is a river instead. Initially, I did have the river going really tight around this bit, and then this bit sloping up, but that makes absolutely no sense whatsoever, because as the water will be rushing out of here, it's going to come as far as it can over here before it turns. And then if you look at rivers in real life as well, this is how it works. So if they're flowing this way, this would be the outside of the curve, and this would be the inside of the curve. So on the inside is where stuff would be deposited, and on the outside is where it would be eroded. So this is how I'm going to do it here. I'm going to have like a curve going over this way, so it looks like the water is wearing away at this cliff face, and then over here we'll probably replace a lot of this stone for coarse dirt and gravel, so it looks like it's all just been deposited down there. I have been a bit lucky as well. I moved it to this side for a good reason, but it was also very practical as well, because down here there is no iron blocks. This is outside of where the iron farm is. I think if we go dig this way a little bit, we'll see it. Yeah, so this is where it starts. So I've got a little bit of wiggle room there if I want to go a little bit further down. So that could be good, because I am actually going to want to texture this quite heavily. I want to go down and put slabs in, coarse dirt, and all that kind of stuff. And then where we're going over here, this will all be on top of the iron farm. So here, I'll probably put some slabs in there just to change the level up a little bit, and then we can do that further along down the middle, and that should look pretty cool. This level here is actually sea level, so if we went along at this exact level, it would just float directly into the sea, but I want this to be about 3 or 4 blocks deep, so that's no problem. It can be higher than sea level, and that makes sense that it's then flowing towards the sea. So I think the next step now is to actually start texturing this and building up the slopes around here. So this is going to go up here, a fairly narrow slope, and then this side is going to be much, much steeper, and then this actually merges into the mountain that I marked out earlier. So that's going to work really, really well. And then I'm going to have to make a few adjustments over here as well, I think. I'm probably going to have to raise this level here. So whatever we do with this, I think it is going to have to tie into this one. But that's alright. We can build out some mountains over here, raise this grass level, and maybe have some of this coming across and then merging into the normal landscape. So yeah, definitely got a lot more to do. So I'm going to get on with it very soon. But first thing, I want to get across to the shopping districts because I think I've made a few sales. Okay, so we're just coming up to the shopping district portal, which is up there. But Amradon has actually added another one down here, which goes to the same portal. So I've been meaning to do this for absolutely ages. So very pleased that it's done this. Okay, so in the shopping districts, the thing I wanted to show was we've got all this grass down here now. The mycelium has gone from the immediate area around the shops. And I did notice this when I was building my wool shop, which is over there somewhere. And I didn't mention it because I didn't know who'd done it. But Binary has just released his video and it was him. He's done a great job. So I just wanted to show that. And then also in his video, he made a visit to the redstone shop. And I think he's bought an absolute ton of stuff. So yeah, I know this is all Binary. All the diamonds I'm going to get from this, it's all him. So I've got an absolute ton of stuff. Oh, look at all that. No observers. And I know he bought the honey because I know he wanted a lot of that. And then, yeah, that's great. 25 diamonds. And I'm pretty sure those are all from Binary. So thank you very much. And we had also made a couple of sales in the Emporium as well. So we've actually sold 2 stacks of iron blocks. So that's another 8 diamonds, which I've put away safe in my inner chest. I think that's everything over at the shopping district. So let's get back to the island and we'll do a little bit of terraforming. Okay, so let's make a start on this. I think what I want to do is go around to this bit because this is probably going to be the most difficult and most restrictive anyway. I showed this earlier. I can put some slabs down here and I think that is what I want to do, definitely down the middle anyway, just to make it look a little bit lower, and then we'll mix these in and texture them up a bit later, but I just want to get a feel for how this looks. So we're just going to put these down here, so it looks like the water's carving this away, and then around the edges, we need to be smart about where we place everything. So we've already said that like the sediment would be like settling at this side, so we'd have the coarse dirt, and then more of like a rocky cliff face at that side. What I also like to do is have little deposits at the point where it would turn. So if we put like gravel piled up at this side, it looks like it's just washed down, and that reinforces the fact that the river's actually flowing this way. So we're going to do a lot of that. There's going to be a lot of slabs around the edge just to smooth this out a little bit, but then every now and then we'll just have a few just like randomly dotted around, and this does work a little bit better with cobblestone actually. Just a few things like that. But obviously this will all be underwater, so it's not supposed to look like a nice looking terrain, but once this is underwater, it will definitely make a lot more sense. Rather than explain every little step of this, I think what I should do is get into a time lapse, and we'll get this whole river completely done. This could take a while. Let's do it. Okay, so we have got a lot done. This has gone very well, and this is looking a little bit more like a riverbed now. It's very broken up, good bit of variation, there's a lot of coarse dirt, gravel, along with the stone as well, and I've kept it at quite a few different levels, because I thought it'd be interesting, like we've done with the glass in the slime pit, to have the depth vary as it goes along, and then you get a bit more interest as you're looking down into it. So over here, I've started off the waterfall that is going to be coming out of this slime pit, and then what we're going to do is we're going to transition this by having some of the slime coming down here, so it looks like it's morphing into the water as it's going down. Now the problem is this, I think, is going to be about the height of the whole river anyway, so I think this will need to raise up a little bit, which is slightly unfortunate, but we should be able to do it. We just need to build this stone up a little bit further, and then just having the water come down at that height a little bit further up. And then around this side, where the river flows out, it's pretty much similar thing. Just dug it all the way down, a little bit of variation. There's a bit more to do down here, but we'll do that as we go, because this is a fairly small part anyway. And I've started bringing some coarse dirt into the sides as well, so it looks like it's flowing down this stone. And then this is going to just flow out into the sea. I was planning on having this a little bit higher and then having like a waterfall at this end, but I don't think that's really going to work with the height that we've got. So we'll just keep it fairly flat for now. But as this is going to be about 5 blocks high, it is actually going to be a little bit higher anyway. So we may have to do something like that. Now I've said it, we might have to build this up a bit and then have this just like the top 1 or 2 blocks floor. But we'll figure that out as we get over here, because now I've got a lot of water to place. I've got to put all this in. I have started down here. I've done this very bottom layer. The easiest way to do this is layer by layer. So the next bit will be doing it at this height, and then I just need to grab some more water and then I can actually grab it from there actually, and then we can just create the infinite sources all the way along and just go all the way from here all the way around to the sea, and then back over here and on to the next layer. So it's a bit of a task, but this is the bit where it's really going to come to life. And then once I've got the water done, I'm going to add in a load of kelp and bone meal at the bottom, so get seagrass as well. After I've done this bit, it should be very, very interesting. So I'm going to jump into another time lapse and we'll get the water in. Okay, so there it is. We have it all done. We now have a river. As I went up fairly high with this water, it has turned back into a bit of a lake, like we said originally. So we've come full circle and we're back to what we said in the first place. I think because I took the time to do it lower going around this way, you still get the sense that it's a river. And then the only part where it didn't really make sense was up here. So I've added a few little bits in here and I really like this. Never done anything like this before, just a few little rocks sticking out. And I think this looks really, really good. I like this a lot. And then over here, this is my other favourite area. And this is where I've just added this waterfall in. And then this little rock behind it. Love that bit as well. I do these quite a lot and I like doing these. And then this waterfall, I think this has worked really well. Nice and simple, but it's nice and rough. And it's really overgrown as well. So definitely all what I wanted to see. And this has gone really, really well. Like this a lot. Okay, and then we have the slime river morphing into this water down here, and I think this has gone really good. I like this, just how it gets a bit more sparse as it goes a bit further out. We could do a little bit more, maybe have some of the concrete or the slime maybe washing down the river a bit, having it caught along here, but we still need to do this side. I really wanted to get this hill and cliff face done in this episode, but unfortunately I've definitely run out of time because stuff like this takes absolutely ages. So unfortunately, we're going to have to leave this until next time. But I am definitely going to do it next time. I'm not just saying it, I mean it. I'm really excited about getting all of this terraforming done. I love these kind of projects. So we are definitely going to carry on next time and make a ton of progress. And then once we get this done, there's a few more changes to make around here. This bit, I know I've mentioned this a few times now, but I think this bit needs raising up a bit. Just so we can join this together and maybe have a bit more coming out of the river and have this bit more rough because it's really flat at the moment. And speaking of flat, this bit as well, this was my tree farm. So I've experimented with putting a little bit of blackstone around the edge here, but I think what I actually want to do is make this really rough with a coarse dirt as well. A lot like the riverbed was before we put the water in, which does look really cool. So I think if we incorporate some of those elements up here, rough this all up a bit, this is going to look 10 times better. So definitely excited doing that bit as well. And then we've got a fishing village to build and some other dock buildings up there as well. So we've got an absolute ton to do. And with that, I'm going to have to leave it there. It's taken a lot of time this episode. So if you have enjoyed it, please do leave a like. And I'll see you again next time. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye-bye.